Whenever we go to these places, we always want to see the tourist traps. We also want to show you the abandoned areas, the local art and graffiti. So we always make sure to show you both.
With a crowbar, they cranked open the warehouse. Then applause raining down from an infuriated crowd. Thousands of Puerto Ricans suffering from the aftermath of powerful earthquakes just discovered there's an entire warehouse full of items donated following the wrath of Hurricane Maria. A puzzling oversight in the middle of a disaster zone.
The building was abandoned years ago.
The vacant house caught fire this morning. Smoke was coming from the house.
Mr. DL.
More than 1 million customers are without power in Puerto Rico after a fire at a power plant led to a collapse of the electrical system.
A U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent is dead and 2 others are hurt after a shootout with people on board a suspected smuggling vessel.
The fire has been controlled. More than 3 million people live on the island. No word yet on how long it will take to restore power.
Southwest coast of Puerto Rico. That's a major drug corridor for cocaine coming out of South America.
After the chilling sounds of the gunfire in San Juan, the island's governor says an urgent meeting will be held today to address security measures in Puerto Rico.
San Juan, the capital of Puerto Rico. Flew out in the middle of winter to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it was like 20 degrees when we left and 90 degrees when we landed.
Amazing. Like, as soon as you land and smell that air, that island air, I'm an island girl, you just relax.
I was underwhelmed upon leaving the airport because I was just expecting this tropical island, you know what I'm saying? And what I was in was just a regular American city. And then we pulled up into Old San Juan, and I was like, yeah, that's what I was picturing.
Old San Juan, the morro,
Yeah.
the cobblestone roadways,
Yeah.
you know, the pastel-colored buildings, lots of artwork.
Well, this looks like I went back in time. It looks so cool.
Yeah, you can really see the Spanish influence on the architecture.
When you travel with Chef Tanya, one of the first places you must go is the beach. So what's the name of the beach we went to?
So we went to Isla Verde, which is the largest city actually in Puerto Rico. And there you'll see a lot of hotels and tourists go there a lot of local eateries, but that's one of the most popular beaches over there.
So we were here at the beach pretty close to sunset. What does this look like for beach going? Is there a lot of people there or a little people for that time of day in Puerto Rico?
I don't remember what day we landed, but it doesn't look like there's a lot.
Yeah.
I would say just like any city with a beach or any place, like the weekend obviously is going to be packed.
Yeah.
You definitely see in Puerto Rico, you know, people jogging on the beach, working out on the beach. The surfers are out there. The fishermen are out there.
Is the beach dangerous?
I would say it can be.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're walking in a certain part of the beach at night.
Yeah.
Depending on like if you're in the city or the countryside, because remember the island,
It makes
water
sense.
surrounds the whole island, so
Yeah.
we have plenty of beaches. I won't say it's the most popular, but in terms of that area,
I feel like when you go to the beach though, that's when you have the least stuff on you in your pockets. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, what are you gonna take, man? You gonna take my hotel key card?
Yes.
Here you go, dude.
But it depends what kind of tourist are you? Are you the guy that like carries all his cash on him, or you have that in the safe? It just depends. And you know, sometimes people are desperate. Maybe they're not robbing you for money. Maybe they're robbing you for maybe you have jewelry on or something like that. Again, when you're on vacation, you might not be thinking about those things. And in terms of like,
I think that's when you should think of them.
of course, but especially in Puerto Rico, you're in America. You're most of the time you're in a very tourist dominant area of the island.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to make that area safe. You know, we want people to come visit and feel safe.
Yeah.
Some quick facts. Because it's a territory, they use U.S. dollars, and you do not need a passport if you're flying from within the United States.
Another move to potentially turn Puerto Rico into a state. The Puerto Rico Status Act was reintroduced in the House today. Right now, under territory status, the island's abilities are limited in terms of financial resources and political power. But according to members of the New York Boricua resistance in the Bronx, they would rather an entirely independent Puerto Rico.
Free Puerto Rico for Puerto Ricans with no ties to the U.S.
The only mammals that are native are bats.
We have a cave system all
know.
through Puerto Rico.
Which is-
Mosquitoes, dengue.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna
The
kill
malaria.
you. And dehydration.
So
When you wander off into the rainforest
Yeah.
because you want to go hiking.
perfect segue. All right, so it's day 2 in Puerto Rico. About to smoke a bird branch. Shout out to the mysterious bird branch supplier. We are on our way to El Yunque rainforest to do a hike. All right, we're driving through the tropical rainforest El Yunque in Puerto Rico. Tanya's driving, and this is her land. We're smoking a jib jab, maybe a bird stick of some something. It's good though. Here's our view. What's the those must be trucks for the city, I mean for the park, because we just passed 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, here is our view. We're smoking the ganj in the rainforest, driving. She's gonna drive off the road.
No, I'm not. I can't. There's a barricade.
So yeah, we'll check back in with you. From one rainforest to the next. El Yunque. And this is just where we parked the car. Got the nice jungle spot.
Best parking in the whole place. Look.
Parking spot. Okay, we're here. I'm a big dork and I love the rainforest, so this is my first trip to the rainforest. We're here. Hiking through the El Yunque rainforest is one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life.
It's beautiful. And I am so appreciative that I was able to grow up on the island, and literally that was like a backyard. Like we used to go all the time, swim in the river.
So it's cool. You can go hiking in a jungle that you don't have to worry about getting killed by animals in.
Exactly.
So that's takes a little bit of the edge away from it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
you were looking for an edge. The tiger staring through
yeah. If you're walking through a jungle and there's nothing out there, or you're walking through a jungle and there might be a leopard out there or something like that, it's a totally different walk. But yeah. Hiking through this place, you really feel, talk about forsaken America, you really feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. We were hiking through the rainforest for like
a while.
5 minutes at this point, and we come across
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we come across this first waterfall, and there's all these people kind of like on the side of the road, really.
It's very famous because it is one of the first waterfalls that you see.
Yeah.
And so it's easier to, let's say, take the picture there versus going, El Yunque, it's a rainforest. It's big. There's different segments. There's buildings you can visit. So
buildings. There's that one thing. There's that one tower. Yeah. Goddamn tourists. So yeah, we walked across that one, and then we really started the hike into the jungle, and now we've been hiking for like what, 40 minutes?
Yeah, it was a minute. I would say like 40 minutes to an hour, 100%.
And we haven't seen anybody. We're just hiking into this jungle, and what's good about it? The path is already made for you, and there's no forks in the path. My phone had 4 bars in here, full service in here. I was like, what the heck? So walking through the rainforest with me has proven to be a nightmare for Tanya, because I stop every 5 feet and say, I'm going to take a picture of this.
It's not a nightmare.
This.
It doesn't matter if it's the rainforest or a city street.
We're stopping to take photos.
Tropical rainforests cover only 7% of the Earth's surface, but they're home to more than half of the planet's biodiversity, including on the island of Puerto Rico, where you'll find El Yunque, one of the world's smallest rainforests and the only one managed by the U.S. Forest Service.
This part of the forest is closed to the public.
To its highest elevation, more than 3,500 feet above sea level, in these mountains you'll find thousands of native plants and hundreds of small animal species, many found nowhere else on Earth. Over a century ago, much of Puerto Rico used to look just like this. Almost 70% of the island was covered in forest. But beginning in the 1800s, land was cleared to make way for farming, and at the low point in the 1940s, only 7% of the island was forested.
We are in El Yunque,
Tropical rainforest in Puerto Rico. It's pretty crazy. We're on this crazy hike. What do you think we walked? A few miles by so far? A few miles, still not to where we're going. There's a big waterfall down here, but check this place out.
Today, it's as if a miracle has happened.
Was this really some of the only remaining rainforest on the entire island?
Yes, at the top of the mountains.
The sun.
And then she was trying to take me to this massive waterfall. Like, this is a real waterfall. The first one you saw was cool. It was a cool waterfall. This is something you probably haven't seen. So there's, in the middle of the jungle, you have to remember when you're watching this footage that we're in the middle of the jungle. And there's, 100 people here swimming in the water, taking photos, photo shoots, like hanging out under the waterfall.
Just like spending time in the water, like if it was a beach. Yeah, 100%.
But all these people walked out there.
Yes, like if you were out in the ocean and it was a sandbar.
If you guys ever get a chance to hike through this forest,
it's great because you're hiking and you're hot, and then you get to stop at the waterfall and kind of experience what I imagine the Tainos experience, you know? After a long day of farming and hunting, it's like, let's get in this water, let's cool down, let's socialize. How was everybody's day?
these stairwells built into the jungle were cool too, right?
Yeah.
So they really did, I mean, they look really old, Indiana Jones style, but they really did attempt to make it easy for people to walk out there. This was probably my favorite part of Puerto Rico.
I really enjoy being in the nature, and I love when I can feel really, really small.
Back high in El Yunque, we look down at the line where new forest that grew on abandoned farmland meets the ancient and untouched rainforest.
So it was just cool to walk through a rainforest in America. Never done anything like that. I've always wanted to go to a jungle, a tropical rainforest, and I finally was able to do it, and I didn't even need a passport. It was kind of crazy. This is a national park in the United States of America, so this will be here. This will always be here. When you're walking through there, you know, it's real vacant.
We just did a 3-hour hike, rainforest in Puerto Rico. I'm fat and out of breath, hot. It's my view. Yeah, man, this place is amazing. Hope to come back. If not this time, then the next. And we'll check in with you soon.
Forsaken America. It's lost. It's like a lost and abandoned place. It's just a forest, but you really feel like you're alone. El Yunque Rainforest in Puerto Rico. Check it out if you can. It's the only tropical rainforest in the United States National Forest System. It was established in 1903, and it's about 45 square miles.
He was one of Puerto Rico's most famous sons, and in the boxing world he was as colourful as he was talented. But for Hector Macho Camacho is now a high-profile statistic in a growing and increasingly deadly wave of violence.
I mean, things are bad everywhere in the world, and it's showing. Times like it's been talked about, the crime in Puerto Rico, there's a lack of heart, a lack of God in people's heart.
San Juan, where we were at, it has over 400 historical buildings.
That city's probably older than every city in the United States of America.
Yeah. The architecture has evolved from simple structures made of wood and thatch to monumental modern works.
Mental. So what they do have in Puerto Rico, San Juan at least, is amazing street art and street graffiti.
Here with these graffiti walls. Art walls, not really graffiti walls, it's just a neighborhood of art. I'll be loading a lot of pictures, so check them out. Still in Puerto Rico. This is not Massachusetts.
100%.
There was a whole section of San Juan that we went to. I wish I remember where it was. I'm standing in it right here, but I wish I remember where it was.
I think we were in Rio Piedras, actually.
That place was awesome. All that graffiti was crazy. Puerto Rico was turning out to be an amazing place, but here we started finding a lot of abandoned areas, and they weren't even like houses or anything. I don't know what they were. They were just rock formations in the middle of nowhere. Concrete and a lot of cement, literally just like popped up in the middle of nowhere with all this cool art on it. I was really in photography mode on this trip, taking mostly photos, really trying to capture the art. There were a lot less abandoned areas of Puerto Rico than I expected. Overall, it was a pretty great trip.
Last year, there were over 1,000 violent deaths on the island, the highest figure in a generation. It's thought many are linked to a big increase in drug trafficking and compounded by high unemployment and poverty.
I speak about 20 words in Spanish. I can't put 3 of them together, but I know some words, you know. So I decided, you know, it would be a good idea if I walk through this city.
All right, walking down this random street in Puerto Rico. No idea where I am. Dogs yelling at me. Let's see what's going on here.
And just photographed it. I didn't film much on this walk. I just photographed it. And I really thought the houses, I thought they looked nice. And like she was saying, all these pastel colors, and the houses went up onto the hill. I did find a few abandoned properties made out of stone or something, these houses here. What are these houses made out of?
A lot of the houses are made out of cement.
Because of the hurricanes?
Yeah, especially the older houses. The windows are actually, they're horizontally like made out of, it's like a light metal. You can open it, the wind, the breeze can come in, but God forbid there's a hurricane and things flying around.
That place is overrun with stray dogs.
Stray animals, yes, 100%. We have a very big problem in terms of stray animals, so much so that people will rescue pets from Puerto Rico.
The pets and dogs rescued from Puerto Rico made their way tonight.
70 dogs and 17 cats from the storm-ravaged Puerto Rico touched ground in North Carolina, meeting the people that will be taking care of them.
We're going to find you a home. Yes, we are.
They will get adopted. In fact, my mom's dog is Puerto Rican and now living in New York. And
New Yorican.
We call them satas and satos.
So that's what we're doing. We're going to Puerto Rico. We're sending in 2 planes a day with humanitarian supplies and pet supplies, and then flying animals out.
So do you remember the first night we were in Puerto Rico and I was sitting outside, it was nighttime, and you were inside watching TV and you're going to come in? I'm like, nah, I'm going to sit out here and listen to the jungle. This is crazy.
Cookies.
Cookie.
What are we in Hawaii?
If you see or hear a koki in your area, please call the pest hotline right away.
They're not native to Hawaii, and they got there somehow, and they're thriving, and people in Hawaii are not having it.
Koki frogs are the size of a quarter.
We wanted to know more about what the state is doing to keep the noisy frogs off Oahu.
As long as the population is small, we can eradicate. If the koki gets established here, like it is on the Big Island, there'll be 10 to 12,000 of them per acre.
Native species, and they're the ones that are being most impacted by all of these invasives.
Koki.
Ironically, Hawaii's having all these koki issues, and at the same time, Puerto Rico's having issues with iguanas.
The iguanas are big. They can grow up to 6 feet long.
They call it a green plague. And why is it a plague? Because it's an invasive species. These guys came here through the pet trade. Here in Puerto Rico, 4 million iguanas in Puerto Rico. 1 iguana per person in Puerto Rico.
And they have become a problem for our economy.
Cookie.
This guy, we're at a gas station. And there's like an outdoor store here.
It's like what the store would look like if you went inside the store.
But it's all just long.
Like glass. One big glass. Life is a jungle.
Yeah.
Like you're just the smallest part of this whole thing.
What did you think about this place? Talk about feeling small.
I love Las Cuevas de Camuy. This is one of my favorite memories. You're going down this big mountain, almost like in a circular staircase. And when you get to the bottom and you look up, it was just magnificent. Just like all the light coming through the trees.
Where are we back? That place. Caves.
The caves of the river Camuri.
Audio tour. We're not in the 80s. So we're gonna walk down into this cave. It's way deeper than it looks on film. I can tell you that. Go over here and see. You see those people down there. So yeah, we're about to walk down. Tanya's going first. And we're up. Check out this cave. We came from inside this cave. Inside here. There's a little opening.
Ok chicos, esta es la famosa, ¿verdad? La ventana esta tiene 300 pies de largo. En la parte más alta, unos 34-35 pies. Esa es la diferencia, ¿verdad? Entre la otra. Ambas comparten, ¿verdad? Las mismas especies y comparten la misma edad geológica.
So we're inside this other cave system here. From way over here, from all the way over there, that tree outside that window. I don't know if you can see these roots. I don't think you can see it, but its roots come from all the way over here. Straight through here.
Like I always said,
and up there.
If anyone needs assistance in any part of the trail,
we are on a walking tour of this cave system, and it is raining behind us. Not really raining, just water from the mountain dripping on us. Like our headphones?
Mine are hidden.
Another one that we didn't talk about is Superfuse Trail, but actually they are inside of the cave. Those bats and the whip spider. The whip spider can grow up as big as the palm of my hand. There are 24 species worldwide. Here in Puerto Rico we have 3 of those species. So maybe we're waiting for other people.
The other places that I felt that was out in California.
In Humboldt County, California, there's the redwood forest meets the Pacific Ocean at a place called Trinidad Bay, and she really liked it.
I love Trinidad Bay. That's another place that I just like. I felt that same
Look how
feeling.
massive these cave openings are.
You just feel so small.
You're really in there, and there's no light at all. So there'll be cracks in the. You'll have your helmet on or whatever, but there'll be cracks in the rock, and light will be peeking through. These holes in the. So I was photographing those, and they looked so crazy. I started taking pictures of you, where you're completely in darkness, but this beam of light will be hitting your face. And we came out into this little opening, and this is where they say Ponce de Leon found the Fountain of Youth. This is it right here. This is what they say is the Fountain of Youth.
So for everyone that keeps asking me what's my skin routine and all of that, I drank from the Fountain of Youth.
We saw a bunch of cave drawings in there. I'm not sure I believed them.
You saying the Taínos didn't do that?
I don't know. That looks pretty new.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks like spray paint. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure about that
Looks
one.
like a ghost from Pac-Man.
That could also be a frog. This could be interpreting your kid's cartoon drawing.
And another thing that was in that cave were all these huge cockroaches and bats. Remember all the bats were up there? Stalagmites and
Stalagmites
and
and
stalactites
or something.
Yeah. So they do these 3-hour tours of these caves in Puerto Rico.
A 3-hour tour.
And like the just have to see it to see how big these openings are. And basically it's a 3-hour walk through darkness to get to this place called the Window Cave.
Cueva Ventana.
Yeah, that.
Check this out. We're inside this cave in Puerto Rico. Here's our view.
It's a huge opening in the cave. After the 3-hour hike, you're on top of a mountain basically.
Del mar. Ya entonces el río es conocido como el Río Grande de Arecibo. La carretera es la 123 y la pequeña comunidad que se ve al fondo se conoce como Comunidad Jaguar.
And when you come into the opening of this cave, looking out onto this valley, we took some photos. We went back into the cave.
Cueva Ventana.
What we just do, babe?
We just went into the caves of the river Camuy, Las Cuevas de Camuy.
And we saw the Fountain of Youth.
Yes, we did, and we drank from the fountain.
So we're gonna live forever. Now we're on the little trolley thing back to our car.
It was awesome. The water was good too. It was like cold.
Yeah, it was refreshing. You should bottle it up.
No, that's how you ruin things. He's trying to make it a whole gringo. Already with his democratic capitalism.
It's the poorer neighborhoods that are suffering during this spike in violent crime. And all too often, it's innocent bystanders that are paying the price.
At least 5 people are dead after a shooting massacre in Puerto Rico. Gunfire heard in a housing complex in San Juan.
Place you shouldn't go. I don't understand.
This is not a joke.
Yeah, this is not a joke. It's fascinating that a place you shouldn't go
Here in the Perla
is feet away from the most famous tourist attractions. Usually you have to venture off a bit to find places you shouldn't go. I've always heard about this place and I wanted to go there. I wanted to photograph it. So we figured that out.
When he says we figured it out, it's a place where you have to have permission to go.
Permission slips. And we got some permission slips. So it was on like maybe our 3rd day in Puerto Rico. And on our 2nd day is when we found out it was a go. Kind of opened my eyes to, wow, people really don't go down here, because your mom had lived there for all those years, decades or whatever, and had never gone down there. So that made me go, huh.
It's in the northern area of Old San Juan, and it's about 650 yards along the Atlantic coast. And it's an old shanty town. It was established back in the 18th century. And it was actually initially where they would put slaves and homeless blacks. So it was like an unwanted area.
So you're saying this place is like 300 years old then? It's crazy. That neighborhood is older than America.
America.
What are those dome things called?
It's called the garita.
Okay.
It's like it looks like a little, like where the soldier would stand guard.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I don't know. You just hear such bad things about it, and it was pretty nice. Like,
it was the opposite of what you would think. It was completely opposite. It's super clean. There's
super clean.
No garbage.
Put it like this. There's so little garbage in there that when I finally saw garbage on the ground, I took a picture of it. You're seeing all this graffiti murals and stuff like that, and I'm asking, hey, what does that say? And basically what it says is take care of your neighborhood. It was shocking how nice it was.
Our problem right now, confronting this hurricane that is approaching, is that most of these people are of low income, and they do not want to leave the small amount of property and things that they have, personal property. They don't want to leave them behind because they feel that they're going to lose it, and it's the only thing that they have.
Oh yes, we arrived, but we had no idea that this was going to happen. So now that we're here, we're going to make the best of it.
Everyone is frightened, really. Terrible storm. Yeah, because
down in the Perla.
So we're just walking through there. People are letting us into their homes, opening up there's businesses down there, letting us into their businesses.
No vagabonds. Store down there. There's a bakery down there. Maybe 200 houses or less.
Okay.
In a very compact area.
Inside La Perla, Puerto Rico, San Juan. Right in the middle of it. Came all the way down that big hill. It's pretty crazy. Couldn't film in some spots. Yeah, this is a nice spot of the place. Stop to get some drinks. Keep going.
I see some signs of violence down there, bullet holes and trees and this and that. We saw like things you see in every neighborhood or whatever. Yeah, so this is our first abandoned building we came into in La Perla. We were there for an hour maybe at this point, and this is our first abandoned place, and it's destroyed.
I'm assuming that they've decided that's not safe to like rebuild right there.
Yeah.
Inside this graffiti
destroyed. There's no roof. There's no walls.
And I love this poetry that's like on the wall.
You know, this is the graffiti spot for sure. There's a big, huge pool here that when the waves crash over the rocks, it fills up the pool. I like how everything was painted. It just looked cool. I was surprised how many, because you hear about this place is so poor, this place is so bad. There's 150 cars down here. Like, there's 150 cars down here.
Their own little neighborhood.
Yeah, so that was
they keep
shocking
it clean.
to me.
They respect each other as neighbors. They respect each other's property.
So
everyone was really, really, really nice.
Everybody was nice to us. But the thing about everyone was nice to us is why we're going to tell you again that you shouldn't go to places like this and film and stuff like that. Because this is one of these places that they don't allow that kind of stuff. So when we came out of here with these photos a few years ago at this point, but when we came out of here with these photos blew up. So I'm sure people have gone in there since, but you know, I'm sure they have parties down here that people come to. I'm sure people can come down there. Don't get me wrong. You can go down there. Don't get me wrong.
There's a certain
things you can do.
There's a basketball court down there, but it's not a place where you can just take pictures and roam around. And take video, and that's not.
So we found a few abandoned places down here, but not many. But
it was really in that one area. It's almost like a designated This area is like
a lot of rubble in this one block. Really, I do feel like this is forsaken in a way.
It's 100%.
You know what I mean? I was surprised at how nice it was down there. It really is. Look, you know.
Oh, it's when you take pride in what you have.
Thinking that Puerto Rico is not a safe destination to travel to.
Oh, they are panic, you know, and but they're preparing very good.
Don't go alone at night in some shady areas or really, really dark places of town, just like you would in any other city, and you're gonna be fine. Locals here love to help out and are welcome you with open arms.
When you leave La Perla, it leads to this huge cemetery with these tombstones and statues. The cemetery was beautiful. It was right on the Atlantic Ocean, and it was on a cliff, so you just looked out onto the ocean.
So this is Cementerio Santa Maria Magdalena de Pacis.
Jeez. How old is it?
This ornate 1863 cemetery overlooking the ocean is the burial spot of many famous Puerto Ricans. It's right in between the two busiest attractions in San Juan, which is El Morro, the fort, and the Castillo San Cristobal. But it does have a lot of famous Puerto Ricans that are actually buried in the cemetery. Let me see.
Like Aaron Hernandez?
No. Pedro Aviso Campos, José Gautier Benítez, Rafael Tufiño, Miguel Ángel Suárez, Pedro Salinas.
Nice. Aaron Hernandez.
No.
So there it is, Puerto Rico. I thought it was great.
La Isla del Encanto.
Would you go back to Puerto Rico?
Absolutely. Anytime, any day, any year. I love Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I thought it was good. You guys should definitely check it out.
Check out my beautiful country. America, Puerto Rico.
Until next time, this has been Forsaken America.
Están repeliendo el intento de los manifestantes de atravesar su línea de formación y comienzan a escucharse en estos momentos las detonaciones de los gases lacrimógenos. Vamos a tratar de mantenernos con ustedes.
The building was abandoned years ago
ago.
The vacant house caught fire this morning. Smoke was coming from the house.
Mr. DL.
More than 1 million customers are without power in Puerto Rico after a fire at a power plant led to a collapse of the electrical system.
A U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent is dead, and 2 others are hurt after a shootout with people on board a suspected smuggling vessel.
The fire has been controlled. More than 3 million people live on the island. No word yet on how long it would take to restore power.
Southwest coast of Puerto Rico. That's a major drug corridor for cocaine coming out of South America.
After the chilling sounds of the gunfire in San Juan, the island's governor says an urgent meeting will be held today to address security measures in Puerto Rico.
The building was abandoned years ago. The building was abandoned years ago. The building was abandoned years ago. The building was abandoned.